Good morning, everyone. Today is December 30th, 2020, and we're here to welcome Mandy Mallarkey, who is from Illinois. And today we're going to talk about the Science of Reading Project. The Science of Reading Project is dedicated to interviewing parents, teachers, and professors of higher education to hear the stories of these individuals and how the science of reading has impacted them personally and professionally. Welcome to our interview, Mandy. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you so much.
welcome. So tell us a little bit about, tell us your name and where you live.
Well, I'm Amanda Mallarkey, and I live in Naperville, Illinois, so we're in the western suburbs of Chicago.
Okay. So tell us how the science of reading has or has not impacted you and your family.
It's had a huge impact, especially this year, because I did not truly discover the science of reading until this past summer, because I have two boys. They're 5 and 8, and our schools are completely remote. You know, they started in last March like everyone, but they're still remote now at the end of December. And I had been debating on homeschooling, which you know I'd never done before. Where we moved here for the schools, I never anticipated that I'd have to. Right. And a big part of the reason why is because my 8-year-old, he's been struggling the whole way through. He was a late talker. He didn't speak till he was 3, and he entered kindergarten, you know, a bit behind. He was behind on some of his letter sounds and his sight words and the guided reading, and it was really hard because, you know, they tell you over and over again, like, just keep reading to them, just keep reading to them, just keep reading to them, and we would read and read and read, and God, we talk about the vocabulary, and we would pick words to sound out and spell, and we would do all those things like you know, just like they would do in guided reading, where you preview the book and then you walk through it and you help them, etc. And it was not helping. And we noticed that, you know, sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought for a second, just kind of thinking about, you know, everything that we've worked through with him. And he's had excellent teachers who would always go above and beyond to give him more guided reading. So they'd fit it in so he could do a guided reading lesson every single day. Or he'd have extra practice with the sight words every day. Or he'd have extra practice with the words their way, which never worked for us because it's just such a huge list. And I feel like it doesn't break it down small enough for him. And anyway, when we went to 2nd grade, he had started the problem-solving process of trying to see if he would need an IEP. And at the beginning of 2nd grade, he had an assessment, and they said he was missing 8 letter sounds. And he was unable to decode nonsense words. So if you give him, you know, a gut or you know, he couldn't do it. He couldn't read them. He also couldn't do blends. But because of all the reading that we'd done and all the guided reading that he had with his teachers, he had such a large sight word vocabulary that he could read almost at grade level. He could recognize those words, not as individual sounds, but like as pictures. So even though he couldn't write, because he didn't have the letter sound correspondence and he could barely spell, they said that he was not eligible for testing for an IEP at that point. So we were doing the response intervention plan, and he was given an extra spelling group. So he was doing his regular 2nd grade spelling group, and then he was given one that was also words their way, that was kind of starting at the beginning, and doing them at the same time. And we were supposed to go back and look at it. And then the schools ended up closing at the end of March, 2nd grade. And we started 3rd grade, and we found we are in the same exact spot we were a year ago. And we were still struggling with getting enough help. And that's when I found science of reading, and that big missing piece from our district, I believe, was the phonics. Because we, you know, would touch on phonics in like their guided reading lessons or their shared reading, but we didn't have anything that was really like explicit and sequential and what he specifically needed in order to spell and to write and to, you know, read unknown words.
Right. So how did you stumble upon this? What happened?
I'm trying to remember exactly how I found the group because I joined about 1 million homeschooling groups because I was trying to kind of get ready and be as prepared as I could be and find programs. And um, at some point, someone had recommended the group for the science of reading. I said, "Oh, that sounds really exciting." And I went in there and I started reading the posts and listening to what everyone had to say. And it was kind of life-changing for our family because I had posted about where we were with my son and where he was with his reading and his writing and his spelling. And the ladies there were so many teachers who were just willing to help and to say, what we could try and what we could do. And I ended up being able to show his school how large his deficits were and that he had not shown progress from the beginning of second grade. And they are going to test him now to see if he qualifies for an IEP. And then we were also able to get a private diagnosis of dyslexia and dysgraphia. And of course, they call it, what do they call it now? Specific learning disability.
Okay.
But and that was eye-opening too, because we've been told over and over again, just wait, I'll get it, just wait. He was not getting it.
Exactly.
So now we're actually doing the Barton reading and spelling program.
Sure.
And we're noticing such a huge difference between that, and we're working with the Kilpatrick book. That's the Equipped for Reading Success, and we're doing those sound exercises every day. And I have a kindergarten too, so it's been really fun to see, one, how much it's helping my 8-year-old, and then two, my 5-year-old who's just really getting into reading and writing and spelling.
Mm-hmm.
It's been amazing to watch his progress and just working with the sounds every day. And then when we go and I do some of the Barton activities with him, he does not have some of those deficits, so he does not need to do it as thoroughly. Mm-hmm. But using those same principles, he's shown a lot of progress. It's been amazing.
So what would be your wish in regards to the science of reading? What's your message to parents and schools of higher education?
I think for me specifically, my son through school would not be getting help until midway through 3rd grade. And that is really hard for me because I feel like we've known for such a long time that something was missing. And his teachers have been amazing, and they've known since kindergarten that something wasn't missing. And I feel like if we had the structured literacy programs in the schools and they were based in the science of reading, that we could help these kids before we get halfway through 3rd grade. And they're so far behind that it's difficult to catch up. So just my wish would be that we could start these programs in kindergarten and really identify the gaps and fix those problems before the kids get to this point.
Mandy, I want to thank you for your time today. I know it's hard to talk about this because it's so close to you, but thanks for your being brave and coming forth and talking about it. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the chance.
You're welcome.